So yes, good morning once again. As I said, my name is Jiinue. I will be your moderator or as well as host for the session today. We're going to give the rest of our guests about 3 to 4 minutes to join in, and then we can start. So feel free to introduce yourself either on the chat box. Tell us your name, where you're listening in from, even as we wait to start. Karibuni sana. I can see people are still joining in, and I know they will continue to join in. Allow me to throw in a question as we wait to start, just to jumpstart. Let's see. There's a poll that I have put there so that before we start the session, something fun. Just you're able to select an answer, then you're able to know who are the people we have here. Those who are still joining us, I am your moderator for today. My name is Jiinue. I work at KEPSA as the SME in the SME department. So pleasure to be doing this today with you. Yes, put a very short question on the poll. I can see 32 people, so I'm expecting more people to join in and more answers on the poll. Clearly, nobody is going to Mount Kenya, but yeah. So just select your answer as we proceed. You are given a free ticket for a weekend trip. Where are you going? Is it the coast? Is it Masai Mara, Mount Kenya, Naivasha? Or are you staying at home and sleeping? What is your choice? If not yet selected, there should be a poll on your screen, or should be somewhere written there, poll. So just click that, and then you're able to see the question, and then you're able to also just select your answer. Wow, yay. At least somebody has said they would try Mount Kenya. This is probably someone who likes to hike. Good thing I can't see who has selected what. It's anonymous. That's the good thing. The votes are coming in. Do I close it? Going once. Oops. Going twice. I don't know what I did. Seems like it disappeared. My apologies. Seems like it disappeared after we had quite a number of votes. Yeah, sorry for that. Okay, let me see. Let me ask one more question and then we can start. Yes. How are we feeling this morning? Unasikiaje asubuhi hii? Is it he? Yes. Mani asubuhi he. Yes. Are we good? Are we just there? Are we not great? How are we feeling? Not sure. Now going once before I shut it. Should be seeing like 33 responses, 36 responses actually, apart from my co-hosts. 15 of you are feeling good or great. 7 are just there, they're not quite sure. Hao wengine unasikia vipi? Going once, going twice, or to close it. Okay. So yeah, at least you can see how the percentages are looking. Okay, I think we can start. The rest will join us as we proceed. For those who joined in a bit late, I said my name is June Mwangi. I am a program officer, a project lead at KEPSA for the SME development. I will be your moderator today, so thank you very much for joining us this morning. Allow me to just welcome our speakers for the day to introduce themselves and say hi, and then we can start. So maybe we start with Purity.
Hello, good morning. Hello, can you hear me? Okay, so good morning. My name is Purity Omboi. I am a Ajira digital program beneficiary and I'm a real estate consultant. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you. Next, I will invite Dominique to introduce yourself and say hi.
Hi everyone, I hope I'm audible. My name is Dominic Kimathi. I'm a senior product manager at iHub. So we support organizations, especially around the tech side. We also usually give funding depending on the program. So I'm happy to engage with you all and hopefully have a very good conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Margaret? You're muted.
I had to switch to my phone. We have power outage here, but yeah, I'm able to still join. So my name is Margaret Sitati. I am a software developer and also a technical trainer at OptiSkills Africa. So at OptiSkills Africa, we are a training organization where we skill and upskill people on matters related to software and AI. So that is what we do at OptiSkills Africa, and I am happy to be with you all today.
Okay, thank you very much. Next we will do Brian. I'm not sure if he's on. Brian? Okay. Catherine.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. You're
Yeah.
here. Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to find out. Oh, hi guys. My name is Brian Withy. I'm a career coach and recruiter. I'm also the founder of Careers Without Borders, which is a company that helps skilled Kenyan professionals get remote roles across Europe and the US. So nice to meet you guys.
Thank you very much. Over to you, Catherine.
All right. Thank you, Jean. Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. So my name is Catherine Macau. I'm the founder of Writer Enterprises. And under Writer Enterprises, we do a lot of things, including running a bookshop and a uniform store. So we call ourselves One Stop Bookshop and Uniforms. Looking forward to having meaningful interaction in this session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Please, I don't know whether, Violet, can you confirm if my internet is clear, if I'm good? I hope I'm not dropping off. I will hope I am not. So yes, today our...
The internet is good.
Santi. Yes, today, maybe it's International Youth Day. That was yesterday, but we hope that this is International Youth Week. And the people we are speaking with today, hopefully, are a mix of young people in the industry, watu wenye wako kwa biz, people who are in the online work or gig work as well, people who are in the tech space as well, people who are also in the space of matters job creations, and also in the business space as well. So our discussion today is just to see where is the bag, or where are the opportunities for young people. And feel free, because this is a discussion, to ask questions, to interact as well, and seek clarification of what you may not be able to get. Our blend of speakers come from, if you're here and you are looking for employment or you are in employment, there's experts who will be part of the speakers. We have an expert who will be talking about how do you stand out, how do you present yourself, which opportunities are there for young people, what skills do you need to have for you to also get better opportunities or even get ahead. And they'll take us through what that looks like. We also have an entrepreneur, somebody who is a business owner or a business founder, and they're a young person as well. They will tell us what was the journey for them to start business and get into business and how they've been progressing so far. We have another expert who will be talking about what it is like to move from, if you have an idea, ya kuanzisha biz, what do you need to do? And they mentioned they also give some money for businesses. What does it take for you to move from an idea to starting to implementation in the journey of a startup? What does that look like? And then we also have experts in the tech space and the gig economy as well, to let us know what does that also look like. If you're looking into entering into remote jobs or you're already in remote jobs, what does that also look like? And a lot more speakers that will be taking us through today. So I hope this will be a fun engagement, and we're able to, we're able to just share and learn from each other and also just ask questions. So let me just pose one question before we start, because I know most of our audience here are young people. Do we believe or do we agree that kuna opportunities za young people? Do we agree, or is it something we feel like it's not true? Mnaonaje? Okay. 60. Kuna mtu anasema ni story ya jaba. That's nice. Okay, so we hope that our speakers today will answer the question. For those that say yes, they will tell us where the opportunities are. For those that say no, we hope that we're able to give a different perspective by the end of this webinar. Yes. Do we believe, yes, do you agree or do you believe that there are opportunities for young people? Do you believe that? Or do we think, no, they are not? About to close this. Going once, going twice. You should see a poll on your screen. Just select the answer. Okay. So out of the 28 of you who voted, oh, you're still voting when I'm about to close it. Okay. Yes, please select, but a majority seem to agree that yes, kuna opportunities are my youth. So let us get right into it. I think I have a few questions for our speakers today, and I will start with Dominic. I hope, Dominic, you are ready. Let me just end this so that, yes, Dominic, I think over to you. I will ask a question. Many young people have great ideas, but they struggle to turn them into a business. That you work at iHub and you're a product manager, from your perspective, what are some of the challenges that young people might be facing to become startups or to enter into business, and how do you think they can overcome them?
Yes, I think that's a very valuable question that you asked. And I know young people, especially now, with the very rise of unemployment, I think one of the big things you find that's happening at the beginning is that people are jumping into entrepreneurship as a way to earn a living, right? So I know already that means that someone is already skilled from the get-go, because then they're trying to fight for survival as opposed to trying to solve a problem that's being faced by people in their community or their ecosystem. So one of the key things that we do see that, when someone wants to start a business, there's a very big habit of trying to copy what's already working. And I think we've seen this before. So you see an M-Pesa business or a company that's doing well, and you assume these guys are making money, so why not also for me to start the same thing? If you remember, like M-Pesa shops, they became so many just because they are thriving. I know we remember things like the quails, where people really invested, and then all of a sudden the market went down. So we encourage people to fast move slowly. What we encourage as product managers is that before you actually start to build a business, you have to start with research. So understand, talk to customers, try to see what they're doing, what are the problems that they're having, try to test some assumptions. Also, it's good to build a prototype. So for example, even if you're trying to start a clothing business as an example, try make like 5 or 10 pieces and try to sell and see, okay, is my product working? How is it moving? To understand, the whole thing. So a lot of things that are around coming up with a business, it's good to stress test them and then also validate willingness to pay, because at the end of the day is the only way a business will thrive is people if are willing to pay. That's the only validation you have, paying customers. So most people who want to strive, for example, build an app, but if this app is not, people are not willing to pay for it, then maybe the idea is not the best. Something else also that we've seen is access to capital, because also businesses cost a lot of money, right? You need licenses, you need to invest in cost of goods, marketing. So people struggle with that a lot, but the good thing is that there are a lot of opportunities that are online, they are posted. All you have to do is Google to search. There's grants, a program like ours. I've also done a few angel investments. So there are very people who like to identify very early stage ideas. So I believe that also a big opportunity. Another thing that I've seen in the market is that founders who want to start businesses don't want to collaborate with other people. Remember, sometimes you're not a jack of all trades. Maybe if I want to build a tech startup, for example, and I'm very good at coding, maybe it would be good to partner with someone then who can help me with the commercial side of the business. So doing sales, doing marketing, someone to do for you finance, who's going to help you to hire the right people. So these are kind of things also that most people want. They want to start their business and own it 100%. So they end up being so overwhelmed by just running it because they don't have the right partners. And then, of course, lastly, of course, it's for, especially here, is getting customers is also very hard, just because with our economy really not being at the right place, people don't have disposable income. So you find that you're really competing with their wallets. So either someone pays for their basic needs, or then they come in and pay for your solution. So you have to think about ways of solving problems that are immediate to these customers, especially in a market like Africa or Kenya, and then be able to target that, make things affordable, try to ensure that you're working on things that either reduce costs for people or increase money in their pockets. Thank you.
Okay, so research, proof of concept, engaging the customers, definitely in agreement. Sorry. Maybe you could also tell us at iHub, how do you support young people? What do you do? What do you have in store for them to get through this journey? Yes.
Yes. So as iHub, we're something where we call a Pan-African ecosystem enabler. So basically we try to, because remember, when you're a business, you don't operate in a silo. So one of the key things we do, we offer access to our working community. So there's workspace, there's desks. We also give you an area where you can do events. So that's usually what we call outreach activities. You come in, calling your customers, have forums where you can discuss about your solutions or the troubles facing your industry. So what we encourage is for people to sell without selling. You're not really selling directly, you're talking about the problems in the ecosystem. So for example, if you're trying to build in the education space, why not bring teachers, bring school heads, bring government officials, so that at least you can use that forum to showcase the activities that are happening, the challenges that are in the ecosystem, as well as, so that at least that kind of helps to also market your product. Another thing that we do, we offer expert advice. So I am one of the experts that we offer. So we do many things. We have people who help with HR, investment, we have finance, we have comms, all aspects of our business. You will get our full support that you have with us. Another kind of way that we support is through funding. So we have programs that give money depending on where the idea of the company is at. So for example, we work with higher education institutions, so the universities, TVET colleges, where we fund the students to kind of produce the idea. For such a program, we will give up to like 30K, depending on where the idea is. For bigger corporations or bigger startups that are growing, we give up to 500K, also depending on the program. So that's some of the ways that we do support. Also, we do linkages. So in case you need any government officials to reach out to, that's some of the support we give. However, maybe something I should notice for iHub itself, we run it from a programmatic approach. So we do a call for applications so that we support these companies as a group and not just individual. Yeah.
Right. That is actually definitely good to know that they have a place where they're able to hold meetings, hold events as well, interact with people. You have some funding opportunities as well. You plug them to communities. And I know there'll definitely be more questions that are coming in. Maybe somebody is asking, all this looks more theoretical. Do you have an example of a business or someone, maybe you may not need to disclose from a data privacy perspective, of a business you supported and they've been able to access opportunities that you have and they are created a success, or they're in the progress of creating a success as a young person?
Yes, yeah. So there are very many companies. So like iHub actually is the first tech hub in Africa that was launched in 2010. So there's very many businesses that have come out of this. Companies like I'll send you our incubated at the hub, our wider group, because you're part of our CC Hub, and Airline Flutterwave also incubated from there, and that's from the Nigerian side. And those companies are what we call unicorns, companies that are above $1 billion valuation, right? So for example, these are some of the success stories that we have, and it's very, very practical. It's not theoretical for us. Remember, when you're being given expert advice, it's not, don't think of it as a classroom kind of setting. It's literally working with you to grow. Are you talking to customers? Are you doing this research? Why are you going to the field? What have they said? How is your customer feedback working? How are you involving people? So our programmatic approach is very, very practical. We don't do theoretical where it's just coming slides and then your workshops. No. For us, we work with you day to day and be able to at least ensure that your business is able to grow.
So if you are looking to starting a business, Dominic is definitely the right person to talk to. Then you're able to get support as we proceed. Asante sana, Dominic. Maybe I'll invite Brian, because there are those who are looking for jobs, sending out CVs, and we send out a number of CVs on a daily, especially when you're looking for jobs and you get the requirements you need, what is it called, experience, and a number of years of experience. Maybe Brian, from your perspective, being that you're a career positioning expert and a recruiter, you also plug people to jobs. What are some of the changes, like nini imebadilika in the labor market or in the hiring space, in a way you see that young people need to position themselves to access work, and what emerging opportunities are there that they should pay attention to?
Okay, thank you for the question. I think one of the biggest changes is, most companies and most organizations, especially internationally, have gone away from the traditional things where, you have to have a degree, you have to have, a master's degree or something to work for them or to do something for them. Now, most companies are more skill focused. Like, what have you done in the real world? What have you achieved in the real world? What have you created? What problems have you solved for the companies that you work for? And your CV needs to show that. So I think most people know by now that most companies use ATS systems to hire. So ATS systems are applicant tracking systems that use AI to filter out CVs. So the first and most important part is your CV has to be ATS compliant, meaning it should have no photos, no graphics, no tables, no columns at all. It should just be plain text on a paper, and it should flow from top to bottom. I would prioritize the skills that you have and the qualifications and achievements that you've had in your experiences over your degree and whatnot. So usually, another mistake that people make is usually having very long CVs. They think the longer the better, but no, if you have less than 5 years of experience, 1 page is enough. If you have like 5 to 20, 2 pages, 3 pages max is the best place to go. Another important thing to note is, LinkedIn is very, very big if you're looking for jobs. CVs are changed every day, but your LinkedIn remains constant, and your LinkedIn is where most recruiters come to when they're looking for okay. My camera is on and my camera is not shut, so I don't know what the problem is. Let me try. Can you see me now?
No.
Okay. I really don't know how to use Zoom. Mini Gen Z.
Unless your laptop has the thingy for the camera that locks it.
I've opened it. I've closed it and opened it again.
Okay.
So it's open. Yeah. So anyway, as I was saying, LinkedIn is very big if you are looking to get hired. You need to have a LinkedIn profile that is optimized. You need to have a LinkedIn profile that looks attractive. And the link to your LinkedIn profile needs to be on your resume so that people can see it and access it. Another thing that people need to know is job searching is very technical. Just the same way you can't go and start a business without, having a clue about how business runs. You can't just go and apply for international jobs without having to learn, how to apply properly. So for most international organizations, they use ATS systems, they use tests, they use video CVs, they use AI interviews to filter out 90% of people. So if you are job searching right now and, you're doing it on your own, you're making it 10 times harder. Just find someone who's done it before, maybe a friend who's gotten a good job before, and ask them to show you exactly what they did, the template that they used, how they applied, how they tailored the CV, what AIs did they use, how did they make sure that when they use the AI, people couldn't see that they used an AI to tailor the CV, yeah? How did they track the application so that when you get an interview, you know where to get, the CV, you use the link of the role, blah, blah, blah. And also, more importantly, how to interview too, because interviews are very technical nowadays. So I feel like I say this a lot to people who know me, but if you're job searching, the easiest way to do it is to find someone who has a lot of proof that they know what they're doing and they have done it before, and they have evidence that their strategy works. You steal that strategy from end to end and copy it, and don't change one thing in that strategy. And if you just do exactly that, you will land a lot of roles. Because for most people, the problem isn't that they don't have a good product. For most people, like most businesses, as people who are business coaches will tell you, the problem isn't that they don't have a good product. It's just that they haven't invested enough time, energy, and resources to actually learn and market that product properly to the audience. I have a lot of friends who have 2, 3, 4 jobs just because 99% of people don't know how to apply for these jobs. You get? So the ones who know have unlimited opportunities because most people don't know how to go about it. So if you want to get a good job, the first step is to find someone who has gotten a good job, or a coach, or, you know, a mentor who will show you this is the process that works for me, and just copy that process. I think that's the key to getting a good role.
Okay, so a mentor, and you copy the strategy that they are using. That's key. I think most young people will ask, where are these mentors? Where do I get these mentors? Is it from my circle? And what does that look like? And I think also as you answer that, a question they would ask, are there key, you know, the way that sometime back everybody was doing BCom or Bachelor in Commerce because the opportunities were steering towards that direction. From your expertise or from your experience in your field, are there certain key skills that employers are looking at, or are there certain employment opportunities that are currently being paid more attention to in this current day and age, rather? Yeah.
So for the first question is usually find someone in your network who has been able to successfully land a really good job in the last year or so, and show them and ask them how they did it. And it's not just how they did it, it should be like a 1 or 2 hour session with them where they show you practically step by step what they did. If you don't have that in your circle, there's coaches everywhere who are, you know, there's coaches on LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever. You obviously have to pay for their services, and you make sure that they show you exactly how to look for and apply for the jobs correctly. Because if you don't have that guidance, trust me, you just be shooting blind all over the place. You get? So for us at Careers Without Borders, we usually offer those services. And as of now, we've been able to help over 3,400, mostly Kenyans, get remote roles internationally that pays in dollars. And usually the least pay is like $1,500 and above, depending on experience. And the highest we've helped someone get is 20,000 plus USD a month, which is absolutely insane. So for the second question, I think the skill that I've seen a lot of people around me hire the most is usually AI automation experts. It's something you can learn within a month and a half using YouTube or Udemy or, you know, Coursera. And again, for this type of skills, no one cares where you land them, as long as you show proof that you know how to do them by building projects for people, by doing, you know, volunteer work and building maybe a system for this company, building a system for this company, then adding it to your portfolio to showcase that you do actually have that skill set. So that is one of the biggest ones. Another really big one has been, especially for the remote space, is finance and accounting. Out of the 3,400 people we'd helped, over 45% of the non-tech professionals we've helped is people in finance and accounting. There's so many roles in finance that are remote, and I keep getting people requesting me to, you know, hire for them a financial expert from Kenya specifically, from companies in the US and Canada. They really love working with Kenyans. So I think those are the two main ones that I see, you know, have a lot of opportunity. But also anything to do with AI and tech, like data analysts, software developers, are still very, very hot in the market.
Okay, I think he has mentioned his top 2-3 of them, AI, tech, and finance, but that does not mean that they're not roles for other skills. It depends with how you position yourself, as I said, mentor, and how you just don't shoot CVs here and there. And feel free to keep asking questions so that they're still here. We are going to have a Q&A at the end, and they also answer them in the chat box as we progress. Maybe somebody will be asking, is there a young person that has been in this digital space? And I'll invite Purity. Purity, you have been in the digital work, in the digital space as well. Maybe you can come and tell us your journey into getting into digital work. What motivated you, or what made you enter this path, and what challenges, like shida gani ulipitia, for you to be able to enter and now continuously exist in that space? Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Jean, for the opportunity. So my name is Spirit Omboi, and I'll give just a very short story, just under like 2 minutes, of my journey and why I joined Ajira and where I am at right now. So I hold a Bachelor of Education Arts from Kenyatta University, and I graduated in July 2023, but I didn't get a job in teaching. I went for interviews, I passed. However, on the verification part, since my ID reads
Kiambu and Kajiado North at the back, I'm not a local. So those are some of the challenges we face as education students, who maybe our parents had to move and we had to take our ID in a different place from where we were born. So that was my challenge, and that's why I didn't get a job in education. I passed the interview, but the verification bit, I did not proceed. So instead of waiting around, I decided to explore other avenues, and that decision is what led me to Ajira digital program. So in July 2025, to be precise, I took a free training in data enumeration through Jiinue Labs, delivered in partnership with a company called Tectona Group. Now, what does Tectona Group do? It's a Nairobi-based consulting and technology organization. So they help companies use the data that they already have to make better decisions. So they came, announced a free training program with Ajira centers, and I took the opportunity. I was 1 week into Ajira. So on taking that training, once you do the training, you do an exam. So I passed and I got verified. So that verification is what changed everything for me. So it's the moment that training stopped being just training and it became an actual job offer. So a data enumeration role with Tectona Group that ran from October to November. So what Tectona does, it hires or it absorbs data collectors. When I say data enumeration, I mean data collection. So we got a job in Kinangop in the month of October and November of the same year I took the training. Training in July, job offer in October and November 2025. Okay, so I did well enough in that role that it turned into a longer contract with them up to June this year. So what they did is they identified the people who did a very good job, and so we are done with the job in November. Then January they call me. They tell me they would want to involve me in their business development, and I said yes. Guess the salary? How much the salary was? The salary was 10K. Yes, 10,000, one with 4 zeros. I'm not talking of more than that. And I said yes. So I asked myself one question. Do I have another job going on? No. Do I have something else going on for me? No. So around that time, that's when I went for the verification with TSC, and they said I am not a local. That's why I cannot get the job. So I had to say yes to this one, and mine was to build on skills that can help me earn better in the future. So on saying yes, I didn't even last 2 weeks there. They promoted me to admin work. And so at the end of that month, I got 25K instead of 10. Why? Because I said yes. Now, so I earned 25K in February, because now the salary comes in February. So February, March, and April. Guess what? In May, they asked me to become their projects coordinator. And how much was I earning? 40,000. From just saying yes to a 10,000 job. So that's my experience, and that of course came as a result of being in the right place. I was in an Ajira center, so I was living in Rongai at that time, Kajiado North, Ngong Center, and I made myself available because I didn't have anything going for me. And the fact that just by being in the right place, I met the right people, Tectona Group, and that helped me to earn and use that as my capital for my business today. So my contract was ending in June 2026. So on 1st of July, I started my own business. Now I had enough capital because I've always wanted to engage professionals, just like Brian said. So I started by engaging a content marketer to help me position my brand very well in the real estate space. So the biggest challenge for me was, let's go back to Ajira now. The biggest challenge for me was starting from zero in a completely different field. So my degree was in education, nothing in data, business operations, or client-facing roles here. So I had to learn it and get tested on it and prove I could do it before anyone gave me a chance. Thankfully, I'd taken a course in customer service in December 2025. So Ajira announced, KEPSA, Ajira, and TechMind AI announced a free course in customer service, which I took and did the exam, and I passed and I got a certificate. So that also aided me in becoming good at client-facing roles at Tectona Group. So what I learned all through is a degree in one field doesn't lock you out of opportunities in another. So don't just be stuck on what you studied. So employers don't just want to know you attended a training. They want to know that you're verified. They want to know that you went to Ajira, you started it, you went through all the courses, and you finished and you got a certification, right? And so the money I earned from that work was not just a salary, it was a capital for me. So when my contract ended in June 2026, I used what I had earned and learned to start my own real estate consulting venture here in Nairobi. So what do I do today? Today, I help new home buyers invest in luxurious yet affordable units priced between 5 and 10 million across Nairobi and its environs. So anyone outside that bracket, I do not attend to them because my content marketer, who is an AICM, told me you have to speak to a specific niche. You can't just sell real estate to everyone, yeah? So that's also another advantage of having enough capital so that you can get experts, okay? So that you're not all over. So what is my advice to the young people? Don't wait indefinitely for a job that matches exactly what you studied. Take Ajira training very seriously, enough to get verified, because that's the credential that actually opens doors. Employers look at who completed a course from start to finish, all the way to verification and certification, not just who signed up. We have a lot of sign-ups. You go, you realize, hapana, unajua sijalipia. So you stop along the way. And then there's this good opportunity that comes up and you're not there because you're not showing up, you know. So, and then the other thing is whatever you earn from your first opportunities, treat it as your foundation, not just your income, because it can become the capital for what you want to build next. And that is a reality for me. So I didn't get a job that I trained for at university, but Ajira gave me a different one. And that one gave me the capital to build my own. That is my story. Thank you. Wow, thank you, Purity. Niko about kusema makofi ya Purity because it's lovely to hear that it's all these things that we are hearing today, and I hope English, I'm not losing anyone, are interconnected. Brian talked about getting a mentor and how the jobs just start. Purity has talked about plugging into different opportunities that are there, and the trainings you could hear, there are trainings that she started on because they were free, and they unlocked one opportunity to the other, to the other, to the other, and you never know where the door might start. And all these things still goes with skilling yourself and proof of concept, which still Dominic talked about. And now moving from a remote job or being employed to going into your business venture, but the skills still remain with you. The same customer service skills you have are the same ones you will use even in your business when it comes to customer relations and engagements. Yes, we'll still be taking questions. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Purity, for sharing that. As even you've talked about entering into business, we have Catherine here, who is an entrepreneur, is a founder. She has her business. I don't know whether, Catherine, you started with business from the get-go, but you will let us know what inspired you to start a business. What are some of the things or key achievements that have been able to help you grow from when you had the idea all the way to where you are now, and what you're looking at to achieving even as you progress? And also, what are some of the challenges, being that you are young and you are a young person in business? What are some of the challenges you faced, and what lessons did it teach you? Like, just maybe tell us how it all went. Yes.
All right. Thank you, Jen. Wow, what a good conversation that we've had from Dominic, Purity, and Brian. Yeah. I'm just listening and I'm here nodding like, yeah, I mean, this is a very insightful, insightful moments for young people who are listening there. Yeah, so let me talk about myself. So, like I mentioned, I'm Catherine Macau, and I'm the founder of Writer Enterprises. And under Writer Enterprises, we have a number of things. We have different businesses. Like one, we have One Stop Bookshop and Uniforms that started really like very small. And the reason why I was actually smiling when Purity was talking about where she've come from, I remember how my business was birthed. I was working I was actually employed. I was employed, and there's this company that decided to hire me as their marketer, and it was actually a technical at Tibet. Yeah, so I was supposed to market their students, like just look for students. And there was this other department where there was it's called production. Yeah, so what the students make, that's where we used to sell them. And so I remember the first time I reported to work, and they told me, this is your office. So they took me to a big sort of a room. It has uniforms. It has so many things. I'm like, wait, what am I doing in clothes? And I remember going back to the office of the director. I'm like, I'm a professional. I'm not going to sell. I'm not going to sell clothes. Yeah, when as a young person, you have big dreams. You want to be in that office that that looks posh, that looks so nice, and you forget about the small things that can really grow you into those big things that you want. And the interesting thing is the company actually didn't even have a procurement person. And they had this order from one of the sisters. They were making Macintosh. And so I was actually told by finance, unfortunately, we don't have procurement person. So you have to go to Gikomba to find this fabric. And guess what? I had 6-inch. So imagine I didn't even have flat shoes to change. So imagine ukienda Gikomba na heels. My goodness. Yes. So I'm telling you, I was so frustrated. And I was almost quitting. But guess what? That is the moment that launched my business. So because for me, River Road was a no-go zone for me back then. Hey, it was like, if you send me to, I'm like, River Road, me usinitume River Road. So what I was told is that actually, before we even get someone to do procurement for the fabric, you'd be the one doing, you'll be the one doing the one doing procurement. And the fabrics, we buy them either Gikomba ama River Road. So nilikuwa na place ya kuhepa. There's nothing. Singehepa. Yeah. And so I got to understand where do you get the best fabric, at what prices. And then so I worked in they had 2 branches, so I worked in both branches, and both branches were actually in marginalized areas. And I would interact with the people around. I would see them struggle, even when they come to buy uniforms. Most of them don't even afford. You walk to Gikomba. I'm not saying Gikomba doesn't have quality, but you look at what they're getting, and really they're not getting quality. And so I remember I saw a niche. And you see, according to every company has its own policies. What kind of clients do they deal with? What are they willing to take in? So it was actually before COVID, that's when I joined. And after COVID, I decided to open a branch when I was still employed. And let me tell you, by then I didn't have the money. I started it with 200,000. Now, ilishia wapi? Ilishia kwa kuweka tiles, because the place we got was really bad, and shelves. Yeah. And when I talk about I started my business, so we have right now, it's a one-stop bookshop and uniforms. I didn't start with the bookshop part. So I partnered with a friend. So they're the ones who started the uniform, not the bookshop part, and we started with the uniform part. And so when I'm starting off a business, I don't start and then go looking for the market. I look for the market first. So I walked to several schools, yeah, and I asked them, where do you get your uniforms? Are you in a position to be able to send parents to my outlet? And because I didn't go, I just decided to talk for like two schools, and where character development, only one turned up. So imagine, so we have this uniform, no one is buying. Yeah, that's one of the challenge. Sometimes when you have a big picture as a business person, then what happens is completely different. So that happened to us. But as a business person, what attitude do you have? Yeah. Do you have an attitude of giving up, or do you fall and rise again? And I can tell you for sure those uniforms were bought eventually. The good thing with the business is that our products, they're not perishable, so you can always sell them with time. So I would say we had challenge of kanjo, like the permits. I remember when we were trying to make the renovation. I don't know even how they knew that we are doing renovation. They were there, like, where's the permit? Where, you haven't even started making money, and they're already asking for the permit, not for the business, the permit to renovate the place. Yeah, like it just beats the sense of it. Yeah, that was one of the challenge. Again, I would say that as a young person, I actually didn't even know how do you do business? I mean, I've been used to employment. This was sort of a first time doing business. And I remember going, because I resigned after a year to do business. So I decided to do some sort of look for places that I could learn more how to become an entrepreneur. And I landed to Women Creating Wealth, where they have a very good forum for women. It's actually a self-paced sort of learning. So I got a lot of insight. And at the same time, I was now getting a lot of clients. And my business was at a point where we needed now to grow. And it was during one of the forums. I think it was a graduation. We had someone come in talk about Jiinue growth program, and I happened to apply. And to be honest, when I was applying, I was almost 90% that I wouldn't get the funding. Why? Because one, as a young person, I didn't even know, how do you do it? What are the qualifications? And then when they talk about audited accounts, I even thought, in my mind, I knew that audited accounts are for big corporate businesses, and it was actually, I went through a 3-day training with KEPSA, and it was that time that I got to know, by the it was an easy process. We were taken over on how to prepare our papers, and I applied and I got good money. I would say small money. I got good money to be able to expand our business, which again, at that time, we were able to open another branch elsewhere, in actually one of the marginalized area, because I was very specific. My business, as much as I want to make money, I want my business to be an impact. Yeah, I'm a mother, and I looked at those mothers when they were going out. They really had to travel like far to go get the quality, not even the quality uniforms, because they couldn't afford the uniforms. So as a business, we actually offer very quality uniforms if you compare the quality and the price. And if you go elsewhere and compare the quality that you're getting, ours is way better. And we have subsidized the prices for this uniform for the marginalized people. Yes. So I don't know, June, I think I have so much to say, so I'm not even sure.
I think that is it's good to hear that even still, as you started business, there's still challenges that come with it. You've been able to persevere. And I like what you said, that you've not done this business alone, which is what Dominic was saying. You can't really be running a business on your own. You can't be a lone ranger. You need to have a community. You need to plug into spaces. And you've mentioned you've been able to join the Grasha Machel, I think is the Women Creating Wealth space, which now women, you're able to meet other women in business. You learn from each other, you grow as well. And you know that where the opportunities are at, where the money is at, where the growth opportunities are at. And as you continue growing, you continue also advancing yourself. And I think that is very, very key. Yes, maybe you want to say, as now, as you tell a young person who is thinking, who has an idea, and they want to start a business, what is one thing you would let them know?
Wow, I think I have a lot of things to tell them, not one thing, June. So allow me to go back to when I was doing when I was still employed. I would say that when you read the book of Robert Kiyosaki that talks about Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it says that you use the knowledge that you getting from the employment to be able to use that skills in your own business and building your own business. So I am not saying you can, you go straight, leave your job and go start a business. That's not something I would say. I would say that make sure when you're leaving employment, probably you're like, that's the direction that you want to take. Make sure you're ready for it. And you can never just, see, people think that just because you're in business, you have a lot of freedom. Let me tell you, being a business person is hard. Being employed is hard. Yeah. So like, you see, like for me, when you think someone who's employed, they're waiting for salary. Mimi nagoja kulipa watu end of the month. Ni mimi wanaangalia, So it comes with its own responsibilities. But again, what I would say is that as you start off a business, make sure the market is there. Make sure you have the market, yeah? Make sure you're willing to learn the skills and the areas that you struggle with, because I have areas that I'm not very, I struggle with, and the people that I've employed, I try to find skills that really try to close that gap so that we work as a team. And just to mention that I actually don't even have, we do our own production, but I don't own a single machine. Yeah. And just like what Dominica was saying, yeah, you need to work with people. I work with a whole community of tailors. I have like over 20 tailors that I outsource and pay them via, through a piecework. Yeah. So don't overthink. Just make sure you have a product or a service, yeah, that you can sell. And now when it comes to the money, you need to be able to to go out and network and find, because the opportunities, I can tell you for sure, opportunities are out here and the money is there. Yeah. Because when I was starting off, I told you that I had only 200K that actually finished at that time when I was trying to put up the space. And when I was selling my ideas to friends, that's how my business started off, being financed by friends. And that's now because, we didn't even have, statements or history that could allow us to even go get a loan elsewhere. And that's why now when we started off our business being funded by friends, after 2 years, that's where we could be able to get a big loan with Jiinue. So I would say again, make sure when you have an idea, you don't think just about yourself. You can't build this thing alone. You need to have a community of people, and you need to be very smart about it. Again, it is okay when you start a business and it doesn't work. It is okay to pivot. It's okay to change it. Don't die with it. Just keep changing, keep learning. Yeah, and as much as you're doing it, make sure you take care of your health. Make sure you love yourself. Make sure you take yourself. Don't be making money to save. I'm not saying you don't save, but take that and Masai Mara, spend that money. It will give you the motivation to go looking for another because you want to have another experience. Yeah, June, I don't think that I have enough time to talk. Yeah, yes.
Umesema as I like young people, umesema spend that money, eat that money.
Kula hiyo pesa.
Thank you so much, Catherine. Maybe I think on our last speaker before we get into questions, I will welcome Margaret to just carry on from where Brian left and said that the key opportunities that he's seeing are in matters AI, automation, tech, matters data, and to some extent finance. But you, Margaret, being that you are an AI expert, and you know that AI, everybody knows we moved from ChatGPT, we went to, personally, maybe I went to Copilot, and then now there was a session where people were all about Gemini, and then there's Claude. I'm not even sure where we are at right now. But as AI has been rapidly changing and affecting things, and even with looking through CVs, even for hiring, AI and automated systems are what are looking through CVs. Being that you are an AI expert, what are some ways you think young people should use AI to enhance their employability or to get jobs? Because probably not every young people who probably is here and wants to start a business has friends that could raise, say, 200,000 shillings, but they can go to Dominic, who said they are able to give maybe 30,000 shillings and they are supported and they test and so on and so forth, or another opportunity here that will give them maybe another 20 or 50,000 shillings. So how can you tell, or what would you tell young people are ways they can use AI to improve productivity or their creativity or their employability, whichever?
Oh, thank you. It's been an interesting conversation from the previous speakers, and I can see how the ideas are nicely intertwining. So for when we come to think about AI, from the question, I think there are two sides to it. So so how can young people use AI to strengthen themselves as individuals, and how they can use it to create value even in business and entrepreneurship? So maybe I can start with from the productivity side of things. One of the most practical ways I feel like we could use AI today is to help in terms of working more efficiently. For example, let's say you are in employment somewhere and you have different notes, like notes that are not structured well. Then one of the ways you could use the tools that you've mentioned, it could be Gemini, it could be Copilot, it could be Claude. Yeah, nowadays there's so many tools out there that one could choose to use. So one of the ways that such tools could help in terms of productivity is like summarizing long reports, brainstorming ideas for a project, or even drafting an email, organizing tasks, or help you understand concepts that you could be struggling with. At least AI here will really help you unlock areas that you are struggling. For example, now let's say you want to apply for a job, like the way Brian was saying, and then there's a particular concept, maybe in your domain area that you're struggling with, and you were not getting it well, for example, in class. Then you could just go and ask AI, help me understand this concept like a 12-year-old. Then it really breaks down that concept in a way with good examples that can really help you get better in that particular topic. So, but I would also encourage us not to think about AI simply as a way of doing less work, but a better question is, how can AI help me spend less time on repetitive tasks and more time on things that require my judgment, problem solving or creativity. So just identifying some of the repetitive tasks that you could be experiencing, and then automate those processes, and then use now, in that way, AI is helping you spend less time on tasks that are repetitive, and then you'll be able to now take bigger tasks, and then with that you're able to be more creative and solve problems better. And they're out here, there are various courses that can also help you, like in automation. We also have, as OptiSkills Africa, courses around that as well, and certification at the end of it. As Purity was talking, I think she mentioned about, I think it was Purity who's mentioned about getting certified and verifiable. So even as you learn, I'd encourage that, go to that extent of being able to be verifiable at the end of it. So the second area that you've talked about is on creativity. I often encourage people to think of AI as a creative thinking partner. So you can brainstorm, you can use it to brainstorm like business ideas, development content ideas, explore different solutions to a problem, or look at different challenges from a different perspective. But the important distinction here is don't outsource your creativity to AI, but use AI to expand your creativity. So in the area of brainstorming, I remember I had someone whom I was just working with them on how to use AI, and they had been struggling a lot with landing a position. So then she was able to do some prompting, a really good prompt on one of the tools. And then the AI was able, the response that she was able to get out of that gave her a link to a job that had not been advertised on LinkedIn, had not been advertised. It was just on a company's portal that was not like very visible on these platforms for like Bretta Monday, LinkedIn, but specific on that portal. And right now, she because it really matched the specifications that the company was looking, and the skills that she had, they really matched, and she applied, got an interview, and right now she's working and earning some really good money out of that. So yeah, that's one way that I could encourage people to use AI. It's just understanding how to give the AI tool a really good prompt that will give you a really good result. So usually say garbage in, garbage out. So if you give it a good input, it gives you a really great result. And if you give it a bad input, then the result is also not so good. So instead, another example could be, instead of asking AI, give me a business idea, someone could ask, here is a problem young people in my community are experiencing. Give me different ways I could solve this problem, including solutions that could become businesses. So that is a prompt that you could give AI if you're looking for to enhance a business idea. AI can give you possibilities, but you have to understand your context, decide which idea makes sense, test it, and turn it into something valuable. So you don't just trust every output that AI, but you as a human, you usually say human in the loop, you really need to verify the output that the AI has given you. So I think I've talked about employability. Maybe the next thing I would talk about is on the entrepreneurship side of things. And for this one, maybe I can give an example from the side I sit. because also our company, we run it as a business. So for us, AI has increasingly become a kind of 24/7 copilot for us. So, for example, for me, one of my responsibilities is developing curriculum for our training programs. So, how AI has helped me is in like brainstorming learning objectives, structure modules, develop activities, identify gaps, and think through how content can be adapted for different audiences. But one thing to note here is AI doesn't replace my expertise in that area of curriculum development. No, it doesn't. It just helps me move faster and gives me more, another perspective to things. I still have to apply my professional judgment, verify the information, and make final decision. So what am I saying here is that you really need to still have the skills that is needed, and then use AI to augment it. So it's not disqualifying you learning for example, if you're in the finance section, you really need to understand the finance fundamentals and then apply AI to just help you move faster or make better judgments. And then another practical example is probably how we analyze feedback from participants after our program. So previously, we would have to go through like responses manually to identify what participants appreciated, where they struggled, and what could be improved. But today, with appreciation, today, one thing also to note is that in the age of AI, with the appropriate safeguards, AI has helped us to analyze what information, has helped us in terms of analyzing the information much faster. So like identifying recurring themes, patterns, and giving us structured pictures of what is working and what needs improvement. But remember, we usually use appropriate safeguards. So here, what I'm simply saying is we are not simply using AI to save time. We are using AI to turn information we already have into insights that can support better informed business decision. And this also brings me to something I think is extremely important, that is responsible AI use. So we think carefully about what information we put into AI tools, how we handle personal and confidential information, which tools we use, and where human review is required. So I would encourage like businesses, especially to develop simple AI policies that establish some basic rules around data, approved tools, verification, and accountability. And also with these ones, there's so many courses on how to use AI responsibly, how to develop these policies out there that you could look at and start doing the same. So the other thing that even as the other speakers have been speaking, especially I think Catherine, as she was speaking about Catherine and Dominic, where they were saying that businesses right now, it's good to, as a business, to outsource some expertise to people. I think AI also can help you, especially if maybe you quickly want some information on a particular field, and maybe you don't have access to that person, and you need a quick turnaround on that. then you could use AI. Like you could tell AI, act as a business analyst, for example, and then help me in ABCD in terms of the analysis that you want the AI to help you with, and it will give you a better insight, and that is cheaper and at least you can get now an expert to come in and help you more. But I think that is also one way AI can really come in and help you in terms of the business processes, because like in a large company, you may have research team, you may have a data analyst, you might have a marketing team, you might have all these specialists. But as a young entrepreneur, starting with 2-3 people, you may not have all these resources. So AI doesn't magically give you all the resources of large corporation, but it can help a small team extend its capacity. So ultimately, I would encourage us to ask themselves, not just what can AI do, but ask what can I do better, faster, or differently, because I know how to work with AI. Yeah, I think that's my insights around AI, employability, creativity, and productivity. I hope I have extensively covered the question.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have. And thank you so much. That it also just cements that AI does not come to replace anyone. It just comes to maybe improve the processes or optimize, improve efficiency and effectiveness as well. That was the last speaker. I think I will open it up for any questions. I know there are some that were raised to Dominic, and I see that he has addressed them in the chat box. So maybe just opening it up for anyone who might have any questions, and then the speakers might be able to address it. As we wait for those questions, let me just, I like polls because they help us know whether we're still doing well, to know whether the session has also been helpful for you from whatever perspective. Is it that you're looking at starting a business, or is it that you're looking at getting jobs? Dominic runs IHAB, so he posted a link there. I don't know whether Brian would like to post something even for those looking for employability. He runs an entity. He has his own entity to just support in matters career positioning and all that, and whatever it encompasses. And then we have Margaret from OptiSkills. Maybe you can also put, and you can also share how to look into OptiSkills so that they're able to know what skills are there that they're able to learn from OptiSkills as well. And I know even my colleagues who run Ajira, they have current opportunities that are under Ajira who are here. They can also drop that so that they know where are some of the skills or trainings that people can sign up for, which most of the trainings could be free, and you're able to get certified or verified. I think Purity mentioned certification and verification, and you get remote jobs or get different, not only remote, but also different types of opportunities. I don't know whether there's anyone I'm looking out who has any question. You can see the responses towards the poll are going on. Any other question?
Hello, everyone.
Yes, one. I think you have two devices. Maybe you could log out one, and then you can speak so that there's no echo. Okay. So one, me, Caroline.
Hello. I'm really sorry about that. I just realized that I had opened the meeting for 2 tabs. My name is Caroline, and I'm so excited about today's discussion. I'm actually a beneficiary of Ajira Digital as well, and I could really resonate with what most of the speakers were talking about, you know, moving from one stage to the other. I run a marketing agency. I'm a digital strategist and also an AI trainer. I would really, really love to connect with all of the speakers today. So just one question, if you can share your LinkedIn details, I'll really appreciate. Thank you so much, June.
Thank you, Caroline. And thank you for the feedback. Glad to hear that you are also an Ajira digital beneficiary. Okay, if there's no one else I'm cutting out, maybe I will give less than a minute to our speakers to give maybe a parting shot. In less than a minute, what is the single most important action, like a to-do action that you would tell a young person who will listen to this either today or later on when they receive the recording to better position themselves for either employment or what is it called, or the business space, entrepreneurship? Maybe I will start with Dominic. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I think for me, I would say, so whichever path you decide to take, it could be entrepreneurship, it could be employment. There's different nuances to both. Both are not an easy journey. I think some people think that, oh, being a business person is hard or doing employment is hard. They both have their own hard, so it's to choose your own hard. But one thing I would say is there's so many opportunities, there's so many problems that we haven't solved as a country and as a continent. And I would advise for us to see, especially if you want to kind of solve the best problems, it's easier to solve the ones you're already facing, right? Because you know where the pain is, you understand the nuances, and you also know how you can improve it. So I always say it's good to start with there. Also, there are a lot of courses now that are free if you need to upskill yourself. There's so many courses there. Coursera has so many free courses. LinkedIn also has courses. So kindly utilize that. But even as you're upskilling yourself, make sure that you put these skills that you're learning into practice. And also, mentors, please always feel free. And I like people are asking for our LinkedIn profiles. In case you always see someone on LinkedIn that you like, always just feel free to connect with them, ask them any question. You'll be shocked by the number of responses that you'll get about people who are willing to help. Last but not least, let's collaborate. Let's work together to grow our country and our economy, because we're all going to be beneficiaries for future generations and ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Dominic. I'm seeing Gilbert has targeted you with a question. Being that you support young people, maybe you can answer his question as well.
Yes. So when you're creating a proposal or a pitch, so it depends. First thing that you have to look in. So different funders have different approaches that they have, right? So do not go to a fintech or a finance investor trying to pitch your agri-tech solution unless you find that this investor is looking to invest in finance or to accelerate or to grant programs, so to give grant funding to programs that deal with their main career. So it's something usually called like an investor-founder mix. So always look that you align to their thesis. That's one of the key things. Two, they want to see the impact that you're having. For a lot of people, it's still at the idea stage, but you have to show at least something that you built. Either it's a prototype, either it's a target, and also explain your why. Why is it that you feel that out of all these ideas, because there's very many ideas, a lot of these funders are always people are reaching out to them. So remember, you're also in a competition. You're not, you might not even be the first person pushing this. So always try to see, okay, what makes my idea viable? What are the opportunities? What is our team, right? Remember, we said you cannot move solo, because for a funder, that's a big risk for them. So ensure you have a very solid team with domain expertise, and also try get partners. I feel like getting partners, it could be organizations, it could be people who are in the same space, because also when you're many, when you come as what you call a consortium, then also it kind of improves your credibility for this funder to work with you. I think I'd say those are the main key ones that they look at. So yeah, all the best, Gilbert, as you're trying to, feel free to reach out. I've posted my LinkedIn on the chat, so in case you need any help or just to be able to walk through, I'm happy to support.
Thank you very much, Dominic, for that. Anne, I think I know my colleagues are on the call, so either I think Juliet or Eve or Fozia may be able to support you with that, with your question on getting, I think, verified. Brian, over to you for your 1 minute AAR, after action review or action to the young person.
Unfortunately, the camera is still not working, but what I would say is there's a lot of opportunities in the world. The place I live in is on Gong Road. It's a building, kind of expensive rent, and most of the people I see here are young. And if you go to the parking lot in the evening, most of the cars are here during the day, but in the evening, maybe they're going to the areas, that's when the cars leave. So a lot of Kenyans, a lot of them, more than you could even fathom, are working internationally for remote companies in the US, UK, Europe, all over the world. And it's extremely possible if you just put your head down and put the work in for 2 to 4 months, and you can get a role that will completely change the life of you and everyone around you. So if it's something that you've been thinking about, and if you've been wondering if it's real or not, or if it's possible or not, this is a sign for you that it is definitely 100 million% possible. And at Careers Without Borders, we, help people achieve and get those roles by giving them consulting and giving them the direction and path they need to take. So if you're interested in that, you can check out our website, which is www.careerswithoutborders.co, and we've put that in the link. And my final thing to say would be, I love this Asake song. It says, what is difficult for you is difficult for somebody else. Stop being in your emotions and just take charge of your life and do what you're supposed to do. Yeah. Getting a good job is difficult. Starting a business is difficult. And that's why not everyone can do it. But if you genuinely join this webinar, or if you have this calling to be great, you have to understand that it's going to be difficult to achieve. And it's also going to be a bit difficult to maintain. But it's 1,000,000,000% worth it. Seriously. Success is so good. So just try every day to achieve that.
Try every day. You wake up, you keep trying. And I think thank you for that part, Sean, that it is difficult to start, it's difficult to maintain it, but definitely if it's something you've put your mind to, yeah, it will be worth it. Joseph, what can a youth do so that to start business from scratch? I think Catherine mentioned that as long as you have your idea or of a product or a service, you need to show proof of concept, gather some of the funds that you have, and then you start it out. But as you do that, place yourself in different spaces, get in spaces to learn more. I can see iHub, Dominic has put a link to iHub. There's also the link to KEPSA websites and other business entities and opportunities. Get learning and get knowing where the opportunities are at, be it for training, then you're able to improve yourself to know how to run your business better, be it for funding, you're able to know where are some of the places that young people are accessing funding for their businesses. That way, it doesn't mean that you need to be employed so that you have some money you've put aside to start a business. I think Catherine mentioned she got the money from her friends. It could vary in terms of the amount, but you just need to be able to start and then place yourself in spaces where you're able to get more information on what is available, and then you continuously grow as you proceed. I will let, Catherine, less than a minute, your parting shot, and then Purity. Yes, I think Margaret did hers. Yes.
All right. So what I would say is that if you have a business idea, don't wait until you have it all figured out. Start, because sometimes we derail things just because we are overthinking. I'll call it overthinking. Yeah, just start and then you'll figure out on the way. But also try to find the risks. You need to be able to look at what's the worst case scenario, and that is de-risking the business, and just start and to be able to do well. The ones who is asking about how to start the business, let me tell you, as long as your idea, again, you have an idea, you have that product, that's when I would say, again, start. You don't have the money. I think when people talk about capital as the main thing where they're not starting a business, I always tell people, but the capital is not the main issue that people have. Yeah, as long as you have your idea, you can be able to sell your idea. People can be able to come in and buy your idea and finance your business. Thank you so much, June.
Thank you very much. Purity?
Okay, thank you, June. So practically speaking, put yourself in the right environments. I started putting myself in the real estate environment in 2022. That's 4 years ago, and I've only gotten into it July 2026. So that period allowed me to put things together, a videographer, a content marketer, and within that time, I already have like the vocabulary for this industry. Yeah. So because clients would ask certain questions like, what is the closing cost and what is the rate of the closing cost against the purchase price? So if you can't answer such questions, you'd have like a longer time to learn. But if you do it outside, even before you've joined the business or started it, it's easier for you. So you'll be hitting the ground running. So that is one. And then also plan your finances. Cut on costs. If you can stay at home, for example, as a young person, don't go and rent out a very expensive house or live beyond your means. Just live below your means, practically speaking. That will help you save your own money, because the truth is, no one is coming to save you. I'd rather tell you the truth. Not everyone has tall friends, that especially our friends are within our age group, you know. So it's either between 18 to 25 or 25 to 30, and they haven't made it. So it's up to you to work for your capital. Sorry to tell you, but it's the truth. You have to work for it. That way you'll even be able to manage it better. If you're lucky, you have inheritance, or you're coming from a rich family, good for you. That would really come in handy. But if you're just alone, stay at home, don't rent expensive apartments, just live below your means. The other one is use TikTok to get information. TikTok has a lot of information. And for young people, sometimes we suffer from ADHD, the AD part, because we can't, like, you know, because there's so many distractions around us. So just use TikTok. Don't feel guilty. As long as it's within the subject you want to learn from, you will learn so much in a very easy way. And then I love what Margaret said, is that you always need the skill. What AI does, it augments it. So the first thing to do is get that skill. Don't say apana kuna AI nitajikreatia barua kama lawyer. No, that's why we still have these professions and they're still working. So lastly, don't put yourself in a situation where you'd have to like live on survival mode. That affects your mindset, because you're just living to survive. What you're just thinking about is food, is clothes, or even, let's say the least of it, the physiological needs, even food only. But when you put yourself in a safe environment where you don't have to think about so many bills, you're able to be creative. So I think that should be it for me, practically speaking, from what I've done, tried and tested. And thank you so much, June, for the time.
Thank you so much to you and to all our speakers. I can see a question for you, Purity, if you're comfortable sharing the name of your real estate venture. I think the other question is for Brian. Please share your website link. There's a request there. And then Joseph, does the location of the business matter? Yes, it does. If you want to set up a physical shop, it does matter. But also, it's also complemented by how you market your business, because we're in the era of social media. So also marketing your business. It could be a pickup location. If you want it to be a front selling, it depends with your business. We have gone 6 minutes past our scheduled time, but thank you to everyone who joined us today, for making time to our speakers. Thank you for making time to share your knowledge and your nuggets as well. We hope that the discussion progresses after this, and I think we'll also be sharing these links to all the registered participants for the webinar, so they're able to reach out for different support based on what you do and your expertise as well. Asanteni sana to everyone once again, and I wish all of you a lovely, lovely day. Thank you.